Yo, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Check the From the Shore to Be More show. Coming through strong with that podcast flow. Sunday afternoon at 2 to 3 p.m. slot. Got the Interstate 95 Turnpike hot. When you tune in, they don't just entertain. They come with the message that presses the brain. Those other podcasts, they seem microscopic. Cause they're the big balls that drop the hot topics. So sure, be more dumb. You just ain't ready. With DJ Boom, Shaheem, and on Demi. Put them together, there's a treacherous string. From the tri-state area to the DMV. So sit back, relax, get your Sundays on. On after morning, gone before dawn. That positive vibe that we hitting so strong. With this podcast show, you can't go wrong. So, here we go, here we go. 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 So nice, we gotta do it twice. What's up, everybody? Hey, hey.
Hello.
And welcome once again back to the From the Shore to Be More show. I am one of your hosts, the one, the only, Shaheem.
And I am Deborah Singletary, aka Aunt Debbie.
Yes, she is. And coming up with his special commentary today will be the official DJ Boom. And we're looking forward to hearing from him real soon. So how is everybody today? And I'm glad you're tuning in. And we're going to have a great show today, folks. Today, we are going to be talking about complainers. Why do people complain so much? I think we all know one. Maybe we all know a few. I certainly do. And I was just telling on Debbie, I take this topic personal in some ways. And we're going to talk all about that today, folks. And we're glad you're back to join us. Before I jump into things, I just want to say real quick, last week in the beginning of the show, we had some technical difficulties. Starts when we have those things, sometimes those issues come up, and we want to just say thank you to all the many fans, friends, and viewers who still stayed with us, tuned in, and watched the show, despite the rough beginning. So here is a fan appreciation shout out to all of you out there. Thank you for staying loyal to From the Shore to Be More. Your favorite Sunday afternoon guilty pleasure. That's what we are. How about that? All right, but that being said, I also want to remind people that they can also go back and see last week's show. Last week's show was on commitments, folks. It was a great conversation. It really was. So I would encourage you to go back and check that out. And you can also go back and check out many of the other shows or episodes that you might have missed along the way of our more than a year of doing this. And you can go to our YouTube channel, or you can find it streaming anywhere. So during your work week, while you're watching kids, whatever you're doing, you might want to go back, sit down, have a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever you like to drink, and tune in to From the Shore.
Or say to your significant other, you need to watch this.
I like the enthusiasm for sure. That's right. So definitely go check us out. And as you're doing that, I must say, especially on our YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to it. How was your week on Debbie?
I think it was good. I'm starting, my room is a mess because I'm in studio process. So creativity can be messy, and I'm enjoying it.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of your work, honestly. When I see your work, it makes me think, and that's what I like for art to do.
Wow.
And also inspire. So I definitely appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to see what you come up with.
All right.
Definitely. It's been a busy week, folks. I'm going to run through some things, and then we're going to start digging into the show. It's been a busy week, I want to say, for women. It really has. If you the other week, you might have mentioned, remember me mentioning the women's track team that won the relay, the gold relay at the World Games, led by, of course, Sha'Carri Richardson, who is now the fastest, considered to be the fastest woman in the world. Shout out to them. But also, I just want to go through a few things. This week, the women took golds in the gymnastics. And then this, I want to mention this because this is the seventh consecutive team gold won by the U.S. team. So I'm going to say shout out and congratulations to them dominating that particular sport. And of course, led by their leader, Simone Biles. So congratulations to her. And if you've been sleeping under a rock, you might not have heard that now Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast of all time, with the most medals ever won by any gymnast, male or female, with 34 medals to her name. So I definitely want to shout that out and shout out the women, because the women are tearing things up, guys. We really got to step our game up because women are showing us how to do things in this world, but not just on a sports level. I also want to mention this. In prison, feminist activist, I want to say, Narges Mohammadi, who's been in prison in Iran for fighting for women's rights for years. This Friday received the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts fighting for the rights of women in Iran. So that I wanted to definitely mention that. I'm not going to take up all the show with all this stuff, folks, but there's certain things I think just deserve a mention, and so I thought that particular deserved a mention. So shout out to all the women all over the globe that are doing phenomenal, fantastic things. That being said, it is football season, and of course, football is today. My Giants are playing. They're playing the Dolphins right now. I'd love to get a win today, but speaking of sports, I don't want to just jump into football. I want to mention also with the women, one of the biggest games that will be happening today that everybody will be watching is the WNBA championship game that starts today. And this deserves particular mention because this particular game is considered to be the clash of the Titans, one of the best WNBA game championships to ever be played, with two of the better teams, super teams actually, were put together, are going to be competing. That starts today at 3 o'clock, folks. So shout out to all the women.
What is that? Is that wrestling?
No, the WNBA, that's women. That's basketball. And the New York team, the New York Liberties, who I am definitely shouting out for. I love the New York Liberty, have for years. Great players. The MVP this year, Breanna Stewart, is on the New York Liberty. They are in the championship, and they will be battling for the championship today against the Las Vegas Aces and A'ja Wilson, their MVP from the last 2 seasons. So it's going to be a fantastic game. This is considered the Clash of the Titans because in this particular game, there will be, I think, 5 or 6 different MVPs who will be playing in this game against each other. So it's going to be a great game, people. If you love basketball, you'll want to see this. So shout out to the women who are just doing phenomenal things all over. There you go, folks. I just had to mention those few things. I hope you guys don't mind. I really hope you guys don't mind. All right. That being said, let's keep the ball rolling. It's the one. Now if it's your birthday, get on up. Now if it's your birthday, get on up. Now if it's your birthday, if it's your birthday, if it's your birthday, get on up. Now if it's your birthday, get on up. Happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating the birthday, not just today, but that may have just recently passed or is coming up in the near weekend, the near week, excuse me. So happy birthday to everybody. I got a few I'm going to mention, and then I'm going to, as normal, keep the show rolling. I want to mention one, of course, my cousin Michelle Berry, her birthday is today, so I wanted to mention her. Happy birthday to Michelle. We all climbing up there in years. But also, I had a few people reach out to me to make sure that I mentioned some people. Well, my wife is right here, so she always want to make sure I shout her people out. So she wanted me to shout out her aunt Regina Scanius, whose birthday just passed and was on October 5th. All these guys are Libras. Look up, or maybe Aunt Debbie can tell you more about Libras. I can't tell you too much of anything, but if you need to know more, don't forget you can always reach out to Aunt Debbie. You can always get your readings at visioncarriers@AOL.com. Never forget that, okay? All you Libras out there. Also, my wife wants me to mention her cousin, Deidre, Dee Scanius Black. Her birthday will be coming up on October 11th. And also her cousin, Eric Scanius. His birthday will also be coming up on the 11th, and she wants to make sure that I mention that. But real quick, I feel so bad because sometimes I miss my own close family members' birthdays because I just don't have the best memory when it comes to birthdays. So, but I did miss my nephew, Cole. His birthday was on the 4th a couple days ago, and I missed that. And so I'm going to make sure that I mention that now. Happy birthday, little Cole. He turned 4. Oh, wow. What a face you could die for, let me tell you. And a ball of energy. I joke with my wife sometimes, we should have another kid. We should have another kid until I actually see one in action. And the body says, no, we're not built for those things anymore. I raised mine already. So shout out to everybody celebrating the birthday today.
I have 2 birthdays.
Okay, awesome.
My niece Ishana Turner, she's a Purple Wonder. Is having a birthday on October 10th, and my brother Brian Singletary, his birthday is October 11th. They're true Librans.
Happy birthday to everybody.
Librans are so much lovers of peace that they're willing to go to war for it.
Shout out to all the Libras and happy birthday to everybody celebrating the birthday. We want to celebrate your birthday with you. It's a blessing to have another year on this wonderful planet of Mars. It ain't all bad, folks. So happy birthday, everybody. All right, let's keep the ball rolling.
You know, I guess right now we should start the show.
I have two. For all you folks sitting at home, when you're not watching us, because we want you to, of course, to tune in to us, but when you're not watching us, here's a little something that you might want to check out today with you and your family. Do you have any on Debbie?
I have nothing.
I have two.
I can't wait to hear what you got.
Okay. First, if you're into documentaries or sports, I know this came out, I think, a little while ago, actually, but I just saw it on the recommendation of my daughter, Treasia, who's proudly serving our country. I want to just say that. Shout out to my daughter, Treasia. And that was Coach Prime. If you all know the story of Deion Sanders, his legendary football career, Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, who is now coaching college football these days, has a documentary on Prime TV called Coach Prime. I finally got a chance to check it out, and it was great. It was good. I really enjoyed it because one thing, I'm a football fan. I'm a fan of Deion Sanders, but it was deeper than that. His love for encouraging young black men and building them up, not to be just football players, to become good football players, but also to become good, respectable young men. That was really inspiring. So I would encourage anybody, if you're into documentaries, or especially in sports, to go check out Coach Prime on Prime TV. That's one I have for you folks. But I also have this. Halloween is coming. you haven't noticed, it is October. It is the 8th of October. In fact, Halloween is right around the corner. Me and my family, we love the holiday season, including Halloween, because Halloween is a kickoff to all the holidays. So we enjoy holiday. We usually dress up every year. I didn't last year. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm getting older and the kids aren't in the house anymore. But we usually dress up. But anyway, Disney has The Haunted Mansion just came out. And it's available now for streaming on Disney Plus, folks. And my family and I, we sat down and we watched it yesterday. And it was entertaining. I got to tell you, it was a story that I never seen before. And that's something that when I watch a lot of horror movies, and I don't know if you watch horror movies on Debbie, a lot of times these days, my wife neither. Shout out to my wife. But a lot of times I watch a horror movie and I'm looking at it and thinking, well, you know what? Somebody's going to pop out of there. Or this is going to happen. I can tell by the music, or this is just something I've seen before in the past in movies. And so on this one, it was a script that I've never seen. And so I thought it would be really interesting. And if you have kids, you're going to really enjoy it. So I would encourage you to go see Haunted Mansion on Disney Plus. So that's 2 for you, folks. So again, if you're not watching us, go check them out. I think you'll enjoy it. It's going to be a beautiful day. And it is a beautiful day. We're going to jump into the topic, folks. Before we do that, I just want to also mention this real quick. Donations. Nothing we do on this show is free, people. Everything has a cost to it. So not just to keep the show going, but to keep the show growing, we ask that you support the show, especially our loyal viewers out there. You know who you are. And you can support the show by sending donations. Please support the show by sending donations to paypal.me/FromTheShore2BeMore. Please don't send them by Cash App. Cash App has been experiencing problems, and we don't want you to have problems. So don't send anything by Cash App. But you can support the show by sending any donations to paypal.me/FromTheShore2BeMore. Businesses looking to support the show or sponsor the show, you can reach us, and you people out there can reach us too for show ideas and to get on some of the game shows by reaching us on Instagram at FromTheShore2BeMore and Twitter at 2_BeMore. Our email is FromTheShore2BeMore@gmail.com, and you can call us at 732-440-9314. Woo! All right, folks. Let's get to it. Like with all the topics that we come with, and people, we talk behind the scenes we meet on usually Tuesdays, just so you know, get some insight from the Shore to Be More family. So, because you're our family, we want you to know what's going on behind the scenes. And so we usually meet on Tuesdays. When we have our meetings on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, we have our discussions on what we're going to do, and we bounce things around about what we're going to do this week. And we came up with this, complainers. I thought this was a good one. I take this particular subject personally. I dug into it a little bit, and I found that there are several reasons why someone would be considered to be a complainer, or why they would be complaining more than usual. One of them was for emotional reasons. Another one was to get attention. Another one was, and I thought this was particularly interesting. Another one was to feel important. That struck a nerve with me, and I'll tell you why. In my years, I've been considered a complainer, I think, by some people, because I was always very vocal. I speak up, no doubt. And I thought to myself, looking back, what were some of the reasons why I would complain in certain situations? And I started thinking to myself, in some of those situations, maybe, just maybe, I was complaining for no good reason at all, but just to feel important. I feel like I had one up on people, or that people had to pay attention to me. Isn't that interesting? But it's hard to admit, folks, and this could be you, people out there. We want to hear from you out there. Hear your stories and your comments. Please chime chime in on the conversation. What are your thoughts on this one, Debbie?
Well, just now I was complaining under my breath that my back was hurting. And I don't know if I could make it through this show. And I mean, oh, this is uncomfortable. And then I said to myself, do something about it. Like,
Yeah.
so the roof, you're not going to get fired if you get up and get another chair. So that's what I did. Sometimes we sort of suffer beneath the threshold of our awareness. Do you know what I mean? So we sort of complain, but we're complaining as if we're powerless to do anything about it except complain. And I think of complaining is as a negative use of one's power. So that's why I said, well, I'm getting up to get me another chair. Why am I enduring? I don't have to endure this by complaining to myself. I could take action.
Right. I'm so glad that you made that point and that you went there. Because researching this, I saw that came up a lot. The fact that people who were complainers would never change the circumstance. In fact, just felt more comfortable just complaining all the time about something without actually making the change.
Without making a change.
Isn't that it?
Yeah. May I start my slide presentation?
Please, everybody.
And could you sing while I try to get this going? I'm hoping I can do it quickly enough. Upload file.
Sure.
Da 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 da.
Well, no, I want to. While you're doing that, just say this real quick. Shout out to all the people out there who've had to deal with me over the years, especially my siblings, my brothers and sisters, who probably at times felt that, yeah, I was a complainer for no good reason at all. Obviously, it could have been a tough situation to deal with, but you let me complain and get it off my chest, and that's the most important thing. But I do realize now that in most of those situations, I was probably complaining for all the wrong reasons.
Can you give us an example of what kind of complaints you had?
Oh, and I think one of my sisters brought this up before, that I would complain if someone came up with an idea or initiated something that I wasn't a part of or didn't come up with. So I would purposely complain just to either feel important or draw attention from that person. That's not interesting. And it's not easy for me to admit these things, folks. I want to say that. But I think for the conversation, it's important for us to be honest with ourselves. And it's important for all of us out there to be honest with yourself. Because I also found out in my research, and I see Boom is with us, I'm going to bring him in a minute, is that complaining and that negative energy brings actually has a negative effect on our health.
I think that is so.
On our health. I found that out through this research as I bring in DJ Boom. DJ Boom! I wish I had the sound effects. What's going on, cuz? We are experiencing those technical difficulties. We can't hear you, Boom.
Can't hear you.
Never fails, folks. Sometimes I tell you what, hard as we work.
So I have, you can't see my slides, can you? I don't think I know how to do this.
Hold on a second.
I think you have to admit it or something.
Yes, I do. And I believe
Yeah,
your
okay,
slideshow is up now.
All right, so let's just, get started until boom comes in. So I titled this presentation from chronic complainer to an effective communicator
Awesome.
because
I'm looking forward to it. I like the title.
yeah.
I like
So the issue isn't about the occasional complaint about the weather. And I had a lovely picture here and I don't see it. But
it was just
uh, so chronic complainers are like a buzzing fly. You just want to squat them.
that.
The complaint, even if it's a valid one, gets ignored, or people placate you, or your complaint goes unresolved.
Okay.
As a counterpoint, we want to look at how an effective communicator might approach a problem. An effective communicator is first going to say there's a problem. They notice it, they observe it, but then before they go to complaining outward, they look within and they say, how do I feel about this? Why is this making me so uncomfortable? And then they identify the need that's not being met. So sometimes complainers are complaining, but they're not asking for anything. So if there is someone else involved, an effective communicator uses I sentences. I noticed you were late for the family Sunday dinners. And they're going to be specific. The week before, and then you were late on October 8th. You didn't call us to let us know you would be late.
Right.
They're not going to say, you're always late and I can't stand it anymore. You get it there. They're going to look you in the eye. And while they might be passionate, they avoid yelling. And they're not just going to accuse someone, which is pointing the finger either literally or figuratively. You know, they're going to say, I feel, I need.
It's important that that person makes it known that it was them that.
What's that, Shaheen?
It's important for that person, I think, to know that it was them specifically who called.
It's how I feel about it. You're not wrong. It's how I feel about it. And that's what I need to get my feelings met. And I just saw this and I liked it. It's tips for making eye contact. And believe it or not, a lot of people find it difficult to make eye contact. You know, they look to the left, they look to the right, they look up, they look down, rather than looking at the person. So an ineffective or a complainer is going to say, you're always late, you're disrespectful, you don't care about anyone but yourself. I want to point out that those are judgments. What disrespectful is you making a judgment? Maybe you're not disrespectful because you're late. Maybe your car broke down, or maybe your car always breaks down. So I think we want to be careful about hurdling accusations and judgments. And if you say to someone, you're always late, that could be disputed, right? Because they could say, well, I was on time last year. What's your problem? So now you give them room to deflect. Your always sentences will put the other person on the defense or on the attack. Well, nobody wants to eat your dried up, burnt food anyway. Right? So you pointing the finger at them and now they point the finger back at you. Now we got an argument. And sometimes problems about the same thing can go on for years, and they only lead to more complaints and more arguments. After noticing and naming the problem, the effective communicator identifies the feeling and the need they're trying to get met. When you are late, I feel anxious. So notice I'm bringing it. I'm not saying you're late because you're a messed up mofiki. I'm saying when you're late, I feel anxious because it's possible you were hurt in an accident. And I need assurance that you are okay. Would you be willing to call me when you're going to be late? And that's the request, right?
Right. Right.
Or when you are late, I feel annoyed. It's, I feel angry because I need integrity around time. I feel I need to be on time for my other engagements. Should we make our dinners earlier? Would that help? How can we resolve this? Maybe we should try Saturday night dinner. So in other words, now you're going to, if you're just complaining, you're going to complain. You're not really asking for a resolution. So I feel statements are empowering to you. I feel annoyed. I feel concerned. I feel scared. When we say you make me, you're putting the onus on the other person and you're making them powerful. You have the power to make me feel some kind of way. I want to own how I feel by just saying how I feel.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So you want to follow up I feel statements with a clear request. I feel anxious because my need is not being met for security, communication, time, whatever it is. And would you be willing to? Or what if we? So now you want to negotiate a change. Complainers are often passive kind of people, and they're afraid. They're afraid to say, this is what I want. And so they complain often under their breath or to themselves or, to their friend, and they never even address the situation. And sometimes we are complaining about internal things like our own bodies, for example.
Right.
So the effective communicator versus a complainer. The complainer says plan A is the only one. An effective communicator says, you know what, let's go with plan B. So if you're always late when we meet for the movies, you always cancel here. And after I ask you a couple of times and you're not willing or able to comply, I'm going to decide that I'm going to wait for you in front of the movies for 15 minutes. And if you're not in 15 minutes, I'm going in. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to stand outside fuming. My plan B is to take care of myself. So my plan B would be to cancel the family dinners because it's not working. My plan B might be to only cook foods that can be reheated. My plan B might be to start dinner without you.
There you go.
Because now I have some power.
You're taking the power back. That's right.
Take your power back. Complaining is blaming. And often blaming leads to shaming. So you don't complain about others and don't complain about yourself. I'm fat. My leg hurts. Which is something that has happened to me, but instead I'm going to take action. Life isn't fair. Well, either you got to get with the program or you do something. There is always something within your own power that can make a situation better.
Yes.
And sometimes the only thing you could do is to change how you look at something. Well, that's just the way it is. And I have the choice to show up or not show up. So this is my last slide. If you have been a complainer, I invite you to go into remission and practice not being a complainer, but an effective communicator. And all that attention that Shaheen may have wanted from complaining, you're going to get more attention if you stop complaining. People know. They're going to listen to you because, as you know, like if you're always arguing, and I naturally kind of have a loud voice. But if I'm arguing, and I'm raising my voice, if I am in dialogue and I lower my voice, the other person has to lower theirs to hear me. And so actually you can be empowered and also get your needs met And
Right.
if you stop complaining and instead learn to be an effective communicator.
Communicator, right. I think that is a great big part of it. What's up, DJ Boom? It says you got your mic muted. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
There you go. All
It's
right.
no
What's
longer
up,
muted
DJ
now.
Boom? Come
What's
on, your mic
Yeah.
muted, dude. You're a DJ.
Listen.
You know better. What's going on, cuz?
It's always trial and error. So let me tell you, I hooked this thing up
Yeah.
and I had the microphone plugged in the wrong spot.
We get it, and
But
you're
you
right.
don't
It's
just
But
complain. You figure it out.
nevertheless, right. Nevertheless, we are here
yes,
live
yes.
from Catch Kitchens and Cocktails with yours
All
truly,
right.
DJ Boom here. What's happening, everybody? I heard everything that you said in that and presented that slide, Auntie, and I could not agree more. I got like 5 different people that comment on complainers from here from Catch. So,
Oh, I bet.
Roll
they
them
like, oh,
out,
I want to
roll
speak
them
on.
out.
Well, bring them on and make sure they tell us who they are and then let us know what they have to say.
Yeah. As soon as they come back, they running
we
around
understand,
working
yeah,
now.
'cause I know some of the ladies
They want to
probably
do work
working,
now.
moving around.
All of a sudden, they want work.
Yeah, right. Well, no, we
But
understand they're working just like you are.
in my opinion,
Okay.
right. The complaining thing, I have tried, or I am working on, not tried. I am working on not being that person. I'm working on being, as Debbie stated, an effective communicator.
There it is
As
right
I have
there,
on my little, I have a little,
I want to give it applause.
I have
for
a
that
little
again.
thing in a frame that says, say, cool, I am a warrior, not a worrier. If I can't,
Wow.
if I can't do something, I'll create it. You know what I mean? So that's what,
Right.
That's my whole spew on complaining. I just refuse to. I understand it's a problem, and I'm out to solve the problem. So like this whole microphone issue.
Right.
I didn't go and complain.
I want to
and
say this,
not
cuz
working.
that the sound
You
is
didn't just
much
pick it
better.
up and throw it across the room and say, "This these people they don't know how to make things anymore." You troubleshoot.
Troubleshoot. And you did, Boom. And I want to say this: the sound coming from you right this week is very clear compared to
It's
the past.
very good.
So and I'm sure the audience appreciates.
Fantastic. You know, I said I had a solution, and
yeah.
And so I want to reiterate again.
I said I had a solution. So as soon as they come back around, I'm sorry, it's kind of it's kind of breaking up. For some reason, it's chopping up. Not me, but you guys are chopping up. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
When to talk and when not to talk.
It's not bad for me. So while we're getting to people, may I tell a story about something that bothered me that I complained mostly to myself about? As
Absolutely.
Boone knows, I lived in a studio apartment for 30 years. So I maybe moved in my 30s, but in my 50s, 58, 59, I was still there. My apartment was just too small. And I used to complain about it a lot and complain to people. I can't afford to move. The rents are so high, on and on and on. Finally, I asked myself, what can I do? And what I did was I divided my studio apartment over the years into an office. I had a little office area. And one of the things I really wanted was a bedroom. I had a studio. I made a little art studio, but then I wanted a bedroom. I was tired of putting the futon up and down. And one day I said, God darn it, I'm going to make me a bedroom in my studio apartment. I put that bed down. A friend of mine came and built, we used some of these things that's behind me. And he, made it into like a little room. So what I did was, rather than complain about this space, I maximized it. I used every inch of it, and I even had a small sitting area for my clients. So it's not just about I don't have it and complaining about money, but often there is something that we can do if we stop complaining. And ultimately, I had everything in that small space, and then I think I like to say the divine said, "Okay, we'll help her to move," and then they moved me into the spot that I'm in now, this 1 bedroom, which, by the way, is not large enough.
So we're back at square one. All right.
But it's larger than the other one, and now I know how to live well rather than live complaining.
I just want to piggyback on something that both you and Boom touched on, and that was the communication part of it all. When you're not an effective communicator, it's I don't know, is it a natural thing? But it seems natural. You naturally complain. You're not able to get what you're feeling across the way that you want, and that can cause frustration, lots of frustration, and as that frustration builds up, you start to complain, sometimes out of anger and frustration, which is never good. So I think once people become a better communicator, they stop complaining as much. I really do believe that. But I want to touch on this too. In my research, I've been watching videos and all kind of things on it. Someone brought up that instead of complaining all the time and to feel important, if that is your meal, to feel important, do something to make yourself feel that importance that you're searching for. And you might not complain as much. I thought that was a fantastic point. So for those of you who find yourselves complaining all the time, maybe there's something deeper that you're wrestling with, and that you really need to dig inside and think about, because it could be something as simple as maybe you need to get out there and do something to feel that void or whatever it is that you're missing, or address that feeling that you're having, like doing something important. It doesn't have to be anything like building a monument or building a building, but maybe you can volunteer at some things. There's plenty of things that you can volunteer to do that will help you feel important. Simple things as that, folks. I also want to touch on this side of it though, because like I said earlier, I also found out that a person who complains all the time and carries themselves like that, not only do people shy away from those people, no one wants to invite them people to the party. Oh, they got the wrong kind of chips, so they got that cheap liquor. No, nobody wants to invite them to the party. Let's say that first and foremost. All right.
That's right, because you can't make them. If a person is a chronic complainer, you can't make them happy.
No, I'm afraid you're not. They will find anything, the smallest, minute thing, to complain about. Even like I think you put this before, even if it's just to themselves, mumbling underneath their breath. I'm sure DJ Boom has to deal with a lot of complainers in his business because he deals with the public, and the people who I'm sure he's going to be talking to also deal with the public. So I'm sure they have a lot of insight on it. But I want to just point out the fact that a person who carries themselves in that way is not only a person that people shy away from, but that negative energy has a negative impact on your health. I wish I could go back and get the video. I didn't want to go get the video because it was a long one, but they talked about how it affects the endorphins or hormones in your body.
Complaining is like negative self-talk.
It's negative, yes.
Right, and it's like meditating on negativity. So if you meditate on peace, you get peace. But if you meditate on negativity, you increase the negativity in your life, in your environment, and in your body.
Right.
So yes.
And you could end up living a shorter life
Yes.
because of all of your unnecessary
Yeah.
complaining.
Yeah. And complaining is often passive aggressive.
Right.
Often complainers don't step to the issue or even step to the person and look them
No.
in the eye, and they may have some fear, so they'd rather call their mama or their girlfriend and complain and sort of get a good feeling from complaining, and somebody saying, oh baby, and agreeing with them, and then they haven't solved the problem.
No, they haven't solved the problem. Two things. Complainers out there in the world. First and foremost, when you feel that you're getting frustrated and you're about to complain about something, first ask yourself, what is the real reason you're complaining? And is it really legitimate? I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The person was talking about, he was at a store one time and he saw a lady. I guess she was kind of well to do. At the store, she was buying some things. When she got to the cashier struggled a little bit with the cash register for whatever reason. Maybe it was the tape ran out, whatever. People do these things happen. And the lady immediately started complaining, even though it only took a few seconds for the cashier to fix the problem, give the lady her correct change, and move things along. The lady immediately started complaining because he felt the lady just had this need to feel important at that moment and feel that that person needed to serve her needs at that moment, and she needed to steal the power at that moment. So again, you want to ask yourself, why is it that you're going to be complaining in the first place? Secondly, like what Debbie has said, if you have a legitimate complaint, do something about it. How about that?
Oh, I think we have a guest coming on.
Oh, awesome. And Boom, what's going on, Boom? What's up, cuz? You got to turn the mic on.
Probably just mute it back.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. We want to hear what you got to say.
We're doing fantastic.
Okay, let me know. What's the topic of today?
Complainers.
Can you speak into the mic?
Oh,
can't hear
yeah.
There we go. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, baby.
That's it right there. All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. My name's Devonna. I hope y'all are doing good today. DJ Boom let me know that you guys were discussing complainers
Yes.
and thoughts on them. Okay. I think that complainers, they say like it's like buttholes, everybody has them. I think that's kind of the same thing with complainers. I try not to, really dive too deep into it because at the end of the day, I'm solution oriented. So it's really like, what can we do to change that? What's the solution? So even when people complain, I don't participate in those conversations. I kind of just say, well, and I move on.
All right. All right.
Amen. Ashe.
That's right. I think one of the main things that we've been talking about, that for people who are complainers, the best thing to solve that is to do something about it.
And the something that she might do is to walk away from the complainer.
There you go.
Right.
And that's
so that it doesn't impact. Right. I think we as people give complainers too much attention. Like, I think if you're complaining and somebody's buying in, then you want to continue to complain. Versus if we kind of just say, okay, well, let's just figure it out. Now it's kind of like, well, who can I complain to?
Well, have you been in a situation where you felt a person didn't necessarily have a legitimate complaint, but was just complaining so that they could feel important?
100%. I work in the service industry. So as a bartender, the servers definitely complain. And a lot of days they walk out with more money than the bartenders because they're servers and they get higher gratuity, but they still complain. And so there's some days I'm like, you know, I'm doing a lot of the work. I'll make all of your drinks and you're still going to leave with more money, but you're over here crying. Where really you should just go and sell your customer service expertise and then you may make more money.
There you go.
So definitely it happens often.
Well, I want to thank you for your contribution for sure. And I guess in your industry, you run across a lot of complainers, and you must be a professional at dealing with complainers by now.
I try. I would like to think I am. And thank y'all for having me. Have a good day.
Thank you so very much.
You too. And please come back.
I will. You'll see me again.
All right. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Just gotta love the people in Catch Kitchens and Cocktails. When you talk to them, you prep them, and they still not prepared. I love it.
No, she was good, and I can see that it's a beautiful day down there in Atlanta, GA.
Absolutely, it's about 78 degrees. You see, I got a sweatsuit on, so it's a little. I was up and out early, so I got a sweatsuit on, but yeah, it's actually pretty nice down here.
Yeah, it's been raining still up here in the Northeast, but it is beautiful today. And I'm not going to complain about the rain. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about the rain, but it's a beautiful day today up here in the Northeast. I know it is here on the Jersey Shore. How is it in New York City?
It's we've got the least littlest bit of sun. It's not raining now, but it rained all day yesterday. But I like a rainy day. I like a rainy day because it feels sort of comforting, and I could drink my hot coffee.
I am the exact opposite. I am like Superman. I get my power from the sun, and so I definitely love these beautiful sunny days. And I love them more when you guys out there watching.
How y'all doing?
Hey,
how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm over here working on my grind right now.
Okay, all right. Well,
What we in here
listen,
talking about?
we're talking about complainers, and in your business, you must deal with a lot of complainers. What's your name?
But my name is Erica.
Hi, Erica. What's your experience with people that complain all the time?
Man, listen, I'm a waitress, so I deal with a lot of complainers. And you got some of them people who everybody, you can't please everybody. Some people are just never satisfied, no matter what. No matter what you do, that's inside the restaurant, outside the restaurant. They just never happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, yeah. We all know people, maybe even some of our own relatives who we feel complain too much, and we don't want to invite them over to the house. So, what's the best way to deal with these type of people when you run across them?
Well, if it's outside of work, I just
don't go there.
To them, give them the head body, keep it moving. To be honest with you, I just keep it moving. Like, yeah. Okay. Like, you can't help them. You give advice and they don't take it anyway. And then sometimes they get mad at you. Sometimes they take your advice and it don't work out the right way for them because they don't do it as well or whatever. It's just something else for them to complain about.
Yes. And I think if you go too far trying to please somebody, you're giving that person some of your energy. And you definitely don't want to do that.
Yes. They are definitely energy suckers. I would say so. And then you got the complainers who are always victims. They're always the victim.
Always. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Point.
That's a fantastic point because you're right.
Yes.
There are people out there who just like to play the victim, and we missed that whole part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Them is the first kind.
What?
Yep.
Tell me about it. Those
are chatting with y'all.
Well, thank you very much,
Erica. Thank you.
Make sure you come back.
Y'all have a good day.
You too, Erica.
I'm gonna go circle around for a second. I'll be back.
Go get those tips.
All right. For sure.
Right. All right, Erica made a great point though
I'm back again.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, cousin. Yeah, The girls are making some good points. I was just saying that Erica made a great point when she talked about some people just like to play the victim. Those are the exact kinds that you can never please. You're never going to make them happy. You don't want to give these people your energy. You don't. You don't. Just go about your business.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Sometimes the people are complaining because they're trying to get something for free. So especially in an environment like this, it's like, oh, my food wasn't right, or the drink wasn't right, or da-da-da-da-da, but you drank almost all of it, or you ate almost all of it. Now you want something else, or you complain about it so they can take it off the bill, or da-da-da-da-da. You know, that's unfortunately, you have serial complainers that literally do that. They go out with the intent of complaining about food or whatever. To get it for free.
It's tough to be in the service industry. That and I try to get some guests to come on. I asking some people at my job because we have a human resources department at our job where these people hear complaints all day, but they were too shy to come on. But they did talk to me a little about complainers and what they and how they deal with them. One way to deal with them is exactly what I was talking about. First, you have to understand why these people are complaining because sometimes people have a legitimate complaint. Sometimes, you know, it's not always BS. So you're looking to resolve the problem, obviously. Then if you can identify a person who's just a sad Sally or just wants to play a victim all the time, that's a whole different situation. You have to deal with them differently.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking if you're confronted with a person who's always complaining, see if you can listen to them and ask them questions about what they're complaining about. And often when you're asking those questions, the complaint will fade away because what it is they're needing is to be heard. And, you know, and speaking of being heard, one of the complaints I had with a particular man in my life was that whenever we would start a discussion, it would turn into an argument and his voice was loud. And so therefore I couldn't get in there. And so I picked a time. And I think if you do have a complaint or an issue you want resolved, often you have to pick your time, and your time may not be the moment that it's happening. And certainly don't step to Shaheem when he's watching the game and talk about, oh, baby, can we discuss? I want to discuss, because that's not the time, right? So you have to, did I get that right, Shaheem? You have to get your timing right. So if I have a complaint, I try to wait. And then the next day or two, I said to this man, you know, when we are having a conversation and I need to get my point across, I noticed you raise your voice. And when you raise your voice, that is very disarming for me. It's disarming. And it's a form of violence. I said to him, you're using your masculine voice as violence. And to his credit, he heard that. And I think it's because I picked my time and I wasn't, you know, accusing him. I was telling him how it affects me. And I said, that means every argument you're going to win because your voice is louder. And that is not a dialogue. To his credit, he heard me and he no longer raises his voice, and that
things can be resolved. You know, sometimes you have a legitimate complaint. Sometimes you have to really ask yourself, what is the reason for the complaint? I know sometimes I complained in the past, and then we're going to keep on moving in the past for just being impatient. I had to learn to really deal. That was one aspect of myself I had to really wrestle with. The fact that I was so impatient about a lot of things. So, yeah. It's been a great conversation. It really has, people. It was. And I think all of us, the most thing all of us hope is that you guys took something away from it. Really.
Yeah, stop complaining.
Stop complaining, right? And we also want to thank the girls, Deandra, I think her name was, and Erica, for their contributions today to the
Devonna,
my bad. Oh,
the first girl's name is Devonna.
Right. Devonna and Erica for their contribution to the show. Hopefully, we can have them back maybe in the future sometime.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Now it's time to say goodbye
To all our company.
I'm not even gonna do the MIC part.
That time went by quick. Good grief.
It did.
Yeah,
Like I
it
said, it was a
did.
great conversation. DJ Boom, what you got coming up, cuz?
What's happening? Man, listen, I just keep getting busier and busier and busier. This week is work. I'm putting on a party. I guess I'll call it a party down here sometime soon. But I'm doing so much traveling. I got to go back to Maryland. I'll be in Maryland the weekend of the 19th of October, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. I'll be in there. I got an event for Walmart this coming Saturday.
Oh,
Of course,
wow.
Catch
Congratulations
Kitchens
on
and
that,
Cocktails. I'll be here. I met a guy who works for the radio station here that wants to plug me into some things as far as radio and things of that nature. So it's like everything is scattered all over the place. And then, of course, I'm still waiting for the karaoke show to kick off. So
Wow.
Congratulations, cuz. You sound like things are really blowing up for you.
Wow.
yeah, making the move here was very, very smart for me, regardless of this, the circumstances that were happening around that same time. Moving here was very, very great for me, and I'm loving
Do
it.
you ever see your brother Samir or your cousin Naja?
Naja, no, I don't associate the other way. So Naja, I have.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we're both happy for all the success you're having down in Georgia. We're gonna have to change the name of the show from the Shore to Be More to From the Shore to Georgia or something. I don't know. But whatever. Or Debbie, what you got other than
No name changes happening. No name changes.
Right.
There you
That's right.
go.
But he's always going to be from Dumore.
I've been
Well,
voting
I'm
out.
doing something interesting. I have an ongoing meeting with a few women who are around my age. I'm 71, and we're getting together to talk about our end of life plans. Who's going to be our executors? Who's going to get our millions? How we want our bodies treated. And I find that is very empowering to really take a look and face that so that I don't leave a mess for my family to clean up. I mean, it's going to be stuff, but I want to have some things in order, and I'm very proud about
That's
being
really
proactive about that. Mhm.
I just want to ask you this about it, and then I'm going to move on. Was there any anxieties about doing that?
At first there was, I felt that if I wrote a will, that then God was going to say, "Oh, you ready? Oh, okay." And when I was going to Ireland, there were some things that weren't finished, and I was like, I'll do it when I get back, because I didn't want everything to be done and then my plane blow up, right? I mean, I was just superstitious. But basically, it's a way of loving my family, because they're going to be sad I'm gone. I hope most of them will be, some of them, but I don't want them to also be burdened with decisions that I should have made. So it's becoming more and more comfortable for me to to take a look at these things and get my affairs in order, and then I don't have to think about them anymore.
We're gonna have to talk about that on the show one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you, Aunt Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you.
As far as me, folks, and I don't want to take up too much time, but you already know I am working hard behind the scenes. I want to first acknowledge this supporter of the show, our own cousin. Our son has his own clothing business, TaylorMade, folks. So we encourage you to go check him out at TaylorMadeEntertainment.bigcartel.com. He's got those varsity jackets for you guys, and I want you to come check them out. So make sure you go pay Cuz a visit. As for me, always and always, the holiday season is coming up, and I have the perfect gift that you might want to give your special someone in your life, and that is Hazy Trays. Our custom 3-piece sets can be done with the image, any image that you send us, and they are the perfect, gift for that special person in your life. And also, as you know, don't forget to visit therealshaheem.com, because as usual, I am busy making music and doing all kind of other things behind the scenes. So make sure you go check your boy out. All right.
All right.
Now that we're winding down, that leads us to this, folks.
Ain't no stopping sunshine. Ain't no stopping me.
That means we've reached the end of our show, unfortunately. I still got to rock on here for another.
Well, I was in total shock when that came up. Oh, so let me deal with it this way. Whenever something happens in your life that makes you angry, before you confront the issue with another, go within and take a look at what's going on for you and get real clear about what you feel and what needs you would like to get met, and then be proactive and be about meeting your own needs. I say.
Wise words from the wise. But yeah, there you go, folks. And listen, we really, really hope that you enjoyed today's show, folks, because we enjoyed doing it. All right? And we look forward to seeing you all right back here, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. next Sunday. All right? But from the Soda Primo, folks, listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.